lose, I will belong to you. Win. Ah.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Holy shit.
And if you
No.
win, what do I have to give?
You have to give the fee.
Hmm.
No,
Interesting wager.
Talk him up.
And this is acceptable to you all. As he looks to the group.
They don't really get to say.
Okay.
An interesting crew you have aligned yourself with, Jax.
I guess, I mean, Ziad would have tried to step in and negotiate, but...
Yeah, I mean, do you want to negotiate with the hut?
I do, but I don't think Kin wants that to happen. So...
He wants his autonomy to choose.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Kin doesn't really see a problem.
You know, like, maybe I'll kind of step in as like, can I just speak to my companion really quick before we agree to anything?
Yes, very well.
And I'll kind of pull Kin to the side and like, I get that, you know, it's your right to do all this, but you know, maybe we can get a better kind of negotiation than a measly entrance fee compared to your ownership of yourself.
As I see it, we will not lose anything. We will win the
But
contest.
if we can,
do we need extra gear?
We can potentially get more out of him than just the entry fee itself.
Very well. You may take over a negotiation.
Okay. Now I hope that I can stand up to that.
Negotiating with a hut is hard.
It is. It's like I kind of try and pull everybody into a huddle to see what we might want to get out of him.
Okay.
Like as what we get if we succeed at the hunt.
Dash just said credits because she has a ship. Nothing more, I guess.
Credits could be good. What does everybody think?
Sorry, I was breaking up. Can you just give me the rundown?
So I pulled Kin to the side and said that we can maybe get a better stake. For winning rather than just the entry fee, because like.
So we don't really know what the entry fee.
Well, he seems to be willing to put up the entry fee if we can, like, for this as part of this wager. Because if we lose, he gets the droid, and if we win, we don't really get anything out of it.
Right, and he was trying to make a fair deal with you. He was like, listen, like clearly the droid is worth more than the entry fee. So
yeah, exactly. So Jax would say, maybe if we impress him, he'll waive the entry fee on its own. And Kin, if you really want to move forward with some form of wager, like, you know, it's up to you, but you're worth more than an entry fee.
So what is the entry fee? Do we know?
No, he hasn't told you yet.
Like 5 credits.
Yeah, it's probably not all that much.
Could be.
We probably can scrounge it all together.
So I Jax would turn to Zian and say, "Could you levitate some of that fruit?"
Yeah, I suppose I could do that.
All right. Let's try and impress him first, and then see where it goes.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't feel comfortable, Ken. I don't feel comfortable risking your freedom over this.
Well, it's his choice. Like, you gotta let him make his own choices.
Yes, but Ken is my friend, and it would. I would not be able to live with myself if I let him make that sacrifice without first trying to try another way.
I agree.
Ken, it's up to you.
Yeah, and I'll admit this to you. You've impressed him. Like Kin has impressed him. That's why he wanted him, right? Like,
yeah.
So Jax would turn back to Corluz and say, "Friend Corluz, I feel as I am the one coming to you with this. It falls to me to impress you with our ability to." And then Jax would be like, fight, as it were. And then he would just look to Zian.
Alright. So let's see how this goes.
it's just fruit, so.
What's the, what silhouette is a hut?
A hut?
Yeah.
So,
Probably not more than 2.
So, hut, I think they're silhouette 2 by design.
Alright.
Even says, "Can you levitate some fruit?" I don't understand.
He wants to shoot something. Don't shoot that.
Well, I'm not going to use the dark side points because I don't need to, but I'll levitate the hut.
Yeah, and so the hut begins to levitate slightly. Now, huts huts are particularly weird when it comes to force, right? Like,
yeah,
they're strangely not immune to it, but they're strangely resilient against it, and also strangely knowledgeable in it as well, right?
Yeah.
Like just all huts have a general, because
Yeah.
they live so long, they have a general knowledge. And as he begins to lift up, he kind of like looks around, and I think that you see his face kind of like almost furrows, and he looks at the group of you and tries to identify who this is. Now, you're not doing
it's
this.
probably pretty obvious because there's like a hand outstretched.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you see Zian like slowly with his hand outstretched, moving him, levitating him up. And he kind of like addresses you with more concern, and he says, "Oh, you bring the powers of Jedi to this fight."
Guys, trigger word.
I just wanted to shoot an apple. It was a good plan. It was an easy plan. Now what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
Perhaps the wager is foolish when you are so clearly destined to win. And then, like, you see the twinkle in his eye, and he says, "But perhaps that is my risk to take. What say you?"
Is he like? Is he?
What's
He
so
doesn't
true to wager?
seem put out by the
Yeah.
fact, but he acknowledges the fact that you are perhaps stronger than he even anticipated when he made his
Yeah.
first offer.
Yeah.
So now he may back off on the offer a little bit, or he may take a higher risk in the fact that now he knows what he's dealing with.
Yeah. I mean,
He's still on the wager thing, though. Like,
yeah. I mean, if Kin wants to wager something, I'll try and negotiate him.
So, do we need like a lot of equipment to go on this hunt?
We probably will.
yeah, you probably need some
We
equipment.
need some explosives and to rent a
Something.
speeder.
Yeah, you'll need a speeder, because one of the rules you do know is no starships, right? You can't just like fly out in an X-wing and kill a crate dragon. That's not fair.
Was part of it no mounted weapons on the speeders too? 'Cause
Yes.
I can't remember if that was
Yep.
okay.
Yep, that was also a part of it.
Yeah. So we need a speeder. We need some explosives. We need some
What
supplies
do you
in
need
general.
explosives for?
Because it's probably the best, safest way to hunt a crate dragon.
Somebody's played Knights of the Old Republic before.
Yeah, like 6 times.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm guessing we should just ask for, you know,
I feel like
all expenses
us
paid.
We can put just if you want to do the wager, we should just do for credits. Like he's willing to put it up there, but he might not be interested in wagering after that display of power. So
Or you could not wager, and you could just
Mhm.
pay whatever. I mean, do you want to find out how much the entry fee is?
yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I'll Jack will just say Corla's before, my friend puts it all out there. How much is the entry fee?
Phrasing. Yeah, so he kind of laughs and he's like, ho ho, the entry fee. Yes, that is what we play for. Very simply, the entry fee is 250 credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that kind of money.
Really? Oh, I've got that.
I actually have not.
I have like 1,000 credits if we need the entry fee.
Because Zian hasn't been spending any of his credits. Everybody else has.
Yeah.
Well, I need equipment, so half.
Well, Zian, why don't you try and see if you can get his price down?
For the entry fee? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, or just. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can try and negotiate the entry fee down.
Because force.
I don't know if force is really worth using here. I mean,
I mean,
he knows about it. It's probably no. I'm just gonna try for a normal negotiation.
okay.
No,
Alright.
I'm not saying to use the force, and I'm saying like if he knows you're a force user, maybe he should consider it. That's what I'm saying.
So it's gonna be a daunting check. Because
Yeah.
negotiating with a HUD is hard.
Yeah.
Also, with all HUTs, they just get a free upgrade because maybe they weasel you into something really bad.
Yeah.
When negotiating with them, but maybe not. We will see.
Yeah. I think I'm probably gonna flip a point.
Totally cool.
And as we've built some kind of a rapport with him through Jax's history, can I make an argument for blue dice?
Sure. I'll add a blue dice for it. You guys have done
Okay.
some cool things. If we were being mechanical, Kin could pass that advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
Actually
the
done
pool
nothing.
all ready for
Yep.
that.
Whenever you're ready.
Alright. Here we go.
Wow. So, you succeed, and I think that how this plays out is, you kind of go back and forth, perhaps a couple of times,
Yeah.
and eventually he just holds up his hand. And he says, "Oh, my friends, you have given me quite a show today. I am still interested in the price of that droid, and we can discuss that later. But I think that for now, being newcomers and old friends and, well, entertaining, perhaps we say 100 credits.
Yeah. That's fine.
Enough for the permit at the very least."
Yeah, I'll pay that.
Okay.
For that.
Yeah, so Deanne, you transfer over the 100 credits.
Yep.
You can see him like
Each or all?
no, just a one-time
Just
fee.
One-time
Oh.
fee.
Just a one-time fee, and he marks it in his little tab, and he nods and smiles and like licks his lips with a giant gross tongue of his. And he says, "And you, droid, you can have a good existence here. Many tasks for you. I'm sure you are programmed to do all of them."
I will. Consider it.
And perhaps for fun, you can carry me around.
If it would please you.
Ha! It would! It would indeed. Almost as much as... Ha! Yes. I would like that. Enough! I have other tasks to complete today. Thank you for this. And good luck. And, as always, watch out for the competition. And he dismisses you with a wave of his hand.
As we walk out, Kin will say, "Don't tell Mouse about it."
I'll just kind of motion to Ken. If you have any intention of trying that wager again, let me know and I'll see what we can do to get a favorable outcome.
So Jax would go sit down at a table, like with the plans of meeting up and discussing. Then I'm gonna say, "Where's Mouse?"
Dash looks around and points in. Oh, there she.
Oh, okay, sweet. It's just not on my screen.
So hey, how'd it go, guys? Are we in? Are we good? Did you kill the hut? I mean, I didn't say that.
Yes,
Yeah,
everything's
we're
good. Don't ask any more questions.
What? Why would I not ask questions? What happened? Did something happen?
I left the house.
Jax would just smile and say, "It was an interesting negotiation, but we're in."
Yeah.
Negotiating with huts is very, very bad. You should never do that. They'll always find a way to get the upper hand.
We got a pretty favorable outcome.
And you didn't tell him who I was, did you?
No.
Oh, okay, good. And none of you are indentured servants now, right?
No.
No, Jax
kind
is
of
a bit of a
Do a very brief glance at Ken.
She did say now, not ever. And then she just kind of nods and sits down and relaxes visibly after that. Not very comfortable around huts. Probably because she sees them all as the same.
And while everything has been going on, Dash has been silent because the thing is, like, first of all, he didn't know what to prove, what Jax could prove with a gun, with a blaster. He just finally breaks his episode of silence. Like, geez, no wonder I've heard interesting things about huts. Because, he's only heard stories. He's never
Yeah, so you've never actually met a hut before.
Nope. It's just quite left quite an impression that is what generally huts are.
Corlez is way nicer than most huts, I would say. Probably because he lives a pretty good life.
Oh, he said they're interesting at best.
So Jax would say, "I guess we should go back to the ship and figure out how we're gonna hunt this thing."
Well, I'm gonna drive the speeder because there's that. I mean, I have my blaster. I don't know what to hit, so I guess I'll be a driver.
Yeah.
So
having heard that, Jax would say, "I think we should," like motioning at the other game hunters, he'd say, "I think we should make all these plans in private."
Yep.
Yeah.
Agree.
yeah, so you notice if you look into the other room, most of the other hunters have actually left. They're no longer here anymore. But before you all leave, you are visited by someone.
Huh?
Hold on.
Should we still be sitting at the table, or is it?
Yeah. While you guys are sitting at the table, I was just getting it set. So a group walks into the bar, and immediately looks down and sees you, and you recognize the subtle form of Mai leading the charge, and there are 4 individuals in her employ. And as they come down, this barmaid is running across, sees Mai, and then turns around and runs the other way.
180.
And the 5 of them walk into the bar, and Mai walks up to you, and you can see that there are a couple of kind of regular guards. There's a woman in a flight suit, with her helmet kind of under her arm as she's walking up, it's probably like her cover for being on Tatooine. And then there's this individual right here, who is a nasty case. He's got a mean-looking pistol on his side. He looks like he's got probably like a force pick or something. Not a pike, not a huge thing, but like some kind of melee weapon attached to his back. And Jax, you recognize him. His name is Ishale Glopio. And he is known for being probably the most brutal of any of the cleaner teams. When they say leave no trace, he takes that to be leave no body, but any fluids expended from said body can be anywhere they want to be. He's very no nonsense. And he's also known as, and this is a you only thing. He's known as the Invisible Killer. You're not sure why they call him that, but they call him that. You don't recognize the pilot. She seems new to the crew, or maybe you just never met the pilot of Mai's team. And these 2 mooks are probably just regular dudes that Mai employs. So as she comes up to you, she kind of looks and she evaluates the crew, because, to your knowledge, this is the first time she's seen them all.
Yeah.
And she kind of like ups and downs. She pulls off her Mandalorian helmet with a psst as it comes off, and she tucks it under her arm, and her hair kind of flows down out of its it was kind of like put up a bit messy. And she goes, Jax.
I just returned Mai.
You wanted to speak? You have information?
Indeed, I managed to uncover some information about one of the organizations that was affecting people on Drakenwell.
Yeah, I think she kind of like holds up a hand. She says, somewhere more private. You come with me. He heads off in this direction, over to the corner of the bar, and instructs you to follow her, Jax.
Go follow her.
He's got some tech issues today. We'll help him out just this once.
Yeah.
So as they do that, it kind of leaves like this awkward, there's these 4 people from this other team, and then there's the 4 of you that are sitting down like around. The pilot girl has short, dark brown hair. She's got a pleasant face, and she seems to always be smiling. She's always just smiling at whatever she is, but it never quite reaches her eyes. You can tell she's calculating like kind of every next move. Even with this smile plastered all over her face. Ishale is obviously standing there. He's got his arm resting on the hilt of his weapon, but you definitely get the feeling that he could pull that out at any time. And then the 2 mooks they're probably just like got their weapons, their blaster rifles slung over the front of them, and they're probably just like kind of lightly holding them, kind of nonchalantly looking around. They don't really seem to have a whole lot of interest in the 4 of you sitting here. Do any of the 4 of you say anything to them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Dash just says a simple hi to just break the tension. Just to no one in particular.
Oh, hello, what is your name? It's the woman, the female pilot.
He just he was mostly resting on his arms for like support on the table, but kind of like stands up and he puts on a smile. He says, "Captain Dash Crew."
Ah, Captain, very important of you. I'm Lily. I'm the pilot. Nice to meet you.
He says likewise.
Yeah, and again, the smile kind of scans the room. Mouse does a good job at hiding behind Kin.
Perception check on smile.
Sure, what are you trying to determine here?
Well, it kind of started off as a joke, but the thing is, like, I'm trying to perceive, like, it's like, is this like a, like, happy-go-lucky smile, just like gray outlook, or is this just a polite smile? It's just like he's trying to study her.
Sure, you're trying to
mannerisms
discern
in a way.
hidden meaning behind the smile.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe see meaning in her eyes, like, because the eyes are the
Yeah.
window to the.
I
mean,
it's
right
an
to the
it's an
soul.
average perception check because there's no insight really in this game.
And of course, through the force, that's a blue dice.
Oh, true.
I'm utilizing the force. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
We're gonna find out.
Well, the force inherently isn't truly evil. It's just like intentions.
Just is.
The force is just is, and can be perceived. Perception.
Okay. Take a strain here.
Tries himself to not look like he's actually checking someone out. Something.
Yeah, and you can tell that like the smile is polite, but it hangs far too long on her face. It's clearly like meant to be disarming, but it makes you probably feel a little uncomfortable. And in her eyes, she appears to be a little bit shifty would probably be the word for it. Her eyes shift rapidly from thing to thing. She never focuses in on one thing. Some might say it's like anxiety or paranoia, maybe, that she's being affected by. But her outward demeanor doesn't show it. So maybe it's something else. But her smile is definitely affixed on purpose, not because she's just happy all the time.
So seeming as she meant she's a pilot, I guess he could bridge that gap. Like anxiety or not, maybe that could actually be a connection. She says, "So, what do you fly mostly?"
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, everything, really. I like the YT freighters mostly myself, but, sometimes I like a little bit of a Corellian. I've flown a couple of bigger ships, but they just don't maneuver well. I've flown, let's see, I've flown the Interceptors and what they used to call I've flown a B-Wing before. I don't know if you've ever done that. That's really amazing and awesome. Great weapon system on that. In fact, very I would say that ship is definitely one of the few underrated ships in the entire galaxy. Yeah, and
I
you know
agree.
it's just and yeah, she splutters on for perhaps it's hard to follow even.
Well, see, the thing is, Corellian ships,
Yeah, no, yeah, like you can definitely follow
like
you can definitely follow what like the ships that she's talking about, but it's all the extraneous detail that's confusing. It's like she goes into like all these different things and how they work and like all these different scenarios, and like one time she blew up an asteroid and then she had to weave in through that. Like it's rapid fire. To the point at which at one point Ishale kind of walks over and just like rests a hand on her shoulder, and it's probably the first time you see her smile falter. Her smile kind of falters a little bit, and she looks at the Ishale, and as she does that, her eyes stop shifting. They become almost deadly focused. Bless you.
Bless you.
They become almost deadly focused on a shale, just for the briefest of moments, and you all can pick up on that. And then she says, "Oh, goodness me, I'm sorry. I must have been talking too much. But you're a captain. That's very important rank. What do you fly?"
Well, captain as in someone that flies a ship because, well, I could say that I was part of the fleet before, but I decided to leave because I decided to feed into my wanderlust. So you could say that it's just like any other scoundrel, which I guess I'm not because I don't think I'll ever go into the smuggling business. But have you ever flown an E9 before?
No, I can't say that I have. It's not the most common of ships out there.
Well, it just so happens that let's say I managed to acquire one by chance.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is very interesting. How does it handle in atmosphere? I've heard they can cause some problems with their general circular design. Not very aerodynamic.
Well, it is, but you have to keep in mind that they're mostly made for exploration and not general use. But I guess it grew on me over time, and now I
yes,
can't
true.
really part with it. That's the.
So that's what
only
you
ship.
fly now, is the E9. That's your current mode of transportation.
Yes, I currently fly said E9. That's why I asked.
Good, interesting. So while that conversation continues, do any of the rest of you say anything? Zian, are you interested in this conversation at all?
Nah, ships are boring.
Ships are boring. Okay.
Kin is staring at that weapon.
At who?
Staring at
Shale's weapon.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to make a check to see if you can identify it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We someone did this already, but I don't think
We
talked about it.
I think we have. He just mentioned it's gun.
Yeah, no, I mentioned that it's a
disruptor, but it's
Did I actually mention that before?
Don't think so.
I think you did, but
I think here I'm gonna message
the
you something.
wounds.
I'm gonna message you something because I think I mentioned something.
I think that you mentioned that some of the corpses or the bodies that we encountered on Druckenwell had been shot with a disruptor.
That is the one previous time that a disruptor was brought up. Yes.
All right.
So it's not hard to identify that this is a disruptor pistol. You know that. But identifying make and model and possible modifications would require a roll. So that's up to you, Ken, if you want to make that roll.
No, Ken is just he sees that this is that dangerous man, so he's kind of just placing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
In ready modus.
Absolutely. And yeah, again, you can tell it is a disruptor pistol. Like it's not there. It's a restricted item, so it's not totally invisible to everyone. And not a lot of people carry disruptor weapons. Well, at least not a whole lot of good people carry disruptor weapons because, there's no stun setting on disruptor weapon. It's literally just gonna liquefy your insides. Basically, what its job is. So with that being said, I think he gives off that dangerous individual vibe. Ken, I think that the most interesting thing is not necessarily his weapons or his demeanor, but it's the rest of his outfit. Everything he wears is very tight-fitting, very form-fitting, which is probably not like the greatest thing, especially for here in Tatooine. And his boots appear to have this well, you can tell that they have like a power source attached to them, but you're not really sure for what. It seems interesting, but you can see like the small little like battery packs that are kind of slipped in the sides, and they're not like externally visible, but you can see like where the pouches are that he slides the power source into.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting little tidbit that you can get off of. So moving over to I think the conversation we've all been waiting for between Mai and Jax. So Mai gets you over there and she sets her helmet down, and the bartender comes over and gives her a drink. Didn't even ask her what she wanted. Clearly knows her well enough to give her whatever drink she wants. You know, that's Mai. Asks you for a drink. I assume you order something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it. There's a Mandalorian spirit. Starts with a T.
You know what
it's
the
driving me
most
crazy.
incredible things? It's Tihar.
Okay.
You know
So
what the most
I
incredible
asked
thing
if they
about
have-
playing online is? I have Google right at my fingertips.
Yeah, so I asked if they have any of that, and if they had some, I'd order a glass of that.
Yeah, and I think that when you do, Mai kind of like raises her eyebrow, because she didn't order it. She kind of raises her eyebrow, and the bartender kind of looks taken aback, and he actually looks at Mai, and she gives him like a little nod, and then he goes down, and you can see like just over the bar, he appears to type in like a keypad, and then you hear a like a safe opening almost, and as it comes out, you can see immediately like steam, or not steam I should say, kind of like if it's really hot out and you open up your freezer, right, and you see the condensation, the mist kind of tumbles out of the safe, and he pulls out a bottle that has like, you can tell it's as soon as he pulls it out, it already begins sweating with condensation. It's actually a cold drink. So it's completely colorless, right? It's completely completely clear. And so he grabs a couple of glasses and he pours two of them and he slides them to you. And I think that Mai takes it and she says, before it warms, she raises her glass to cheers you.
Yep, and Jax would just cheers her and drink it.
Yeah. So it's a pretty strong alcohol, obviously. It burns the mouth and the throat when ingested. And it's probably not dissimilar to the grain whiskey that Zian ordered earlier. But the fact is that this is smooth, right? It's not coarse. It doesn't stab you. It just burns. It's just very hot. And so drinking it cold, it gives this weird kind of dichotomy of the two elements there. And as you drink it, she says, "So, we must be celebrating?"
I said, I don't know, you tell me. And he'll just let her know about the Jedi that Dash encountered.
Yeah.
And that they took Monica Akua, and that like it sounded like they had some presence in Druckenwell before that, but they also had left the planet with her.
Yeah, and I think that the more and more you tell her, the more and more her brow begins to furrow, and she looks probably not disgruntled, but concerned. And seeing Mai strike a concerned is probably cause for concern itself, but she has a nervous habit. So she kind of she rests her hand on like her fist, and her index finger kind of scratches just behind her ear, and she just kind of starts doing that as you begin talking, and she when you're done, she goes, "Yes, I had suspected as much. We've been having difficulties lately with some unseen element. We thought for sure it must be the Hutts, but they're pretty brazen in their tactics. They don't care much for subtlety. I will have to report this, but I have to say, Jax, I didn't expect you to come through like this when I asked you.
We may have had our differences, but at the end of the day, we're both Arcanists.
Yes, indeed. And I think maybe it's time we start letting others know that as well.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, she smiles, kind of a rough smile. You know, she's got that scar along her jaw, so it's kind of like a rough, crooked smile. And she says, "Yes, I'm sure that you would. But in the meantime, I ran across something you might find interesting." And she pulls out like a data chip. Clearly, it's like a little circular disc to go inside of, like a data slab or whatever. And she slides it to you, and she says, "Don't open it here. Finish whatever business you have. But next time you're safely on board your ship and away from here, check into that. You might find it interesting."
And Jax would just nod and slip into his trench coat.
Well, it was a pleasure, as always, doing business. And she returns back to old My Striker in this moment, and she's like, "And if you've ever done hanging out with a bunch of ragtags, I'm sure that someone in my team could give up their spot."
And Jax would just chuckle at that and, head back to his crew.
Yeah. And she finishes her drink and follows you over there, and as she does, she rounds up her crew, and they all head out. And as they do, Lily looks over her shoulder. Oh, and I didn't post her name. Lily looks over her shoulder, and she says, "Oh, and Dash, sometime you'll have to let me fly that E9. Be very interested in that."
He calls out to her, "We'll see."
Yeah, and they depart. So you all have a new mission. You have to win the Great Crate Dragon Hunt. Luckily, you don't have to win it so that Kin doesn't become a slave. Backed out of that one. I'm very disappointed in you all, by the way. I was so down for that. That was such a cool scene. That's okay. That's okay. I believe in you. So you have to win a Great Crate Dragon Hunt. You have some interesting information about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
For example, you have the reigning champion, right? You know who that is now.
Yes.
Well, at least Dash does. And you kind of have a brief overview of the competition, right? Which was what that scene was designed to show you. So the only thing left is to figure out how to kill a crate dragon, which probably should be next week.
We kind of have
Next time.
some weaknesses and some strategies that we found.
Yeah. Perhaps that should be next time. Or, better yet, if you all want, feel free to talk about it in between sessions. Publicly in the group chat so I can read it as well.
Yeah.
So, it was a great session back, guys, though. Thank you all for being here. Nobody died. I think it was more cleanup and then setup. Wasn't a whole lot of action, but I think that, don't worry, you'll have your fill of action when you go brave the sand dunes of Tatooine. There are just...
I really thought we were about to throw down with Maya. I'm like, why is she coming with her whole crew? Why are you talking about their weapons so much? Like, that's suspenseful.
Yeah, it should be. Disruptor pistols are no joke. Anyway.
I made a friend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jax at some point is going to say something about talking to everyone about our ship.
If someone steals, they're gonna die.
Listen, the GM has found a weakness in the party and is going to exploit it whenever he possibly can to make things legitimate, so you don't think that I'm just screwing you guys over. Anyway, so are we on for next week?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't foresee any more complications in the near or even medium distant future. So we'll plan on the 11th.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Now that the holidays are over and we can get back on schedule and get back to killing crate dragons and rescuing people from castle mines.
Cool.
All right. So there wasn't a whole lot of stuff here, but I do want to give you guys. There was definitely opportunities to do bad stuff here. So I think rolling morality, even though I don't think either of you really gained any conflict today. I don't know. Maybe there was something.
I'll give myself at least one. For just kind of showing off and being flashy and shit.
Oh, that's true. You did show off. Yeah, I don't. Dash, do you think you got any conflict from anything you did today?
I don't think so.
I don't know if reverse conflict is a thing. I really liked you apologizing. That was super cool.
Well, yeah, I was gonna point out I actually bridged the gap between someone I kind of.
Well, that could just bump his morality up.
Yeah, I think that maybe you can roll a d10 plus 1.
Sure.
On this one. I'm totally okay with that. I think that's totally cool because it's... Well, hold on. I think that's what grants you the morality roll.
Yeah.
Is that you had a chance to do something bad, but you didn't.
Okay.
I don't want to be crazy here. Hey, look at that. Nice rolls, Ian. So if you just want to roll a d10 there. Nice, 3 morality. You're no longer perfectly in the middle. You're at 53.
Oh, I did good today. So.
It's a slow grind, but it'll get there. Cool. Experience.
Got to do, and I'll even out good.
Everybody gonna have 15 experience. Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that immediately.
Did I
in
do anything towards my obligation towards Arcanus?
Yeah. So that's the next thing. Jax, you are the only character that currently has duty.
Ooh.
And I want you to increase that by 5.
Ooh. Duty is fun when you start increasing it.
Yeah. So you got a ways to go, right? I think you have to get like 100 before you can get the next rank.
Yeah.
But your hold on, let me read it here so I don't sound like an idiot, even though that's already done. So your thing is intelligence, right? That's your duty is intelligence for the Arcana Syndicate. So your whole mission to increase it is, well, yeah, I know, I'm reading it now. Your whole mission is to find intelligence that Arcanus can use to further its goals, and you 100% did that today. In addition, reduce your obsession obligation down to 5.
Yay.
You can do that.
Oh yeah, because we said as we reduced obsession, we were going to increase duty. Yeah, cool.
Yep, that's exactly what I said. Yep.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's all I have. You guys did a great job. Man, Pin.
Yeah. Close.
If you would have gone through with that, you would have gotten an obligation here for sure. For sure, you would have gotten an obligation.
Yeah, we would have won.
I mean, you would have won, but you would have had an obligation during that. Maybe Corval, what's the fuck's his name? Jesus. Oh, I can't even remember his name. Corvez. Corluz, maybe he didn't want to wait until after the crate dragon hunt if that would have triggered. But you're good.
Huh.
You're good. So, I think that's all I got. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you all next week, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. It's been a wonderful day. Thank you for all of the watchers and viewers. Quite a few people, quite a few names I recognize today. I appreciate that. And if you're watching us on YouTube, glad you could be here. Thanks for showing up. We will be continuing next week on the 11th of January, 2018. It's 2018, guys. And until then, from all of us to you, have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. And as always, just remember, Star Wars is all about fun, and not necessarily about who blows up who with a hyperspace. Bye.